Hey everyone, welcome back to the latest GoSkills Excel Challenge solution. How close did you get to solving it? Well, we've got Microsoft trainer Deborah Ashby ready to share her solution. Check it out right now.
So let's take a look at how I chose to solve this challenge. Now, the first thing we needed to do here was we needed to determine the order that our customers are going to jump in. And I mentioned that the order should be randomly generated. Now, if the first function that you thought of was rand between, then let me show you why this isn't the best method. So I'm going to type in equals. We'll go for rand between. And what rand between does is it will generate random numbers based on a bottom and a top number that we specify. So I want to generate numbers for every jumper in this list. So our bottom number is going to be 1, and then I know that I have 23 people in this list, but if you had a much longer list, then you would use count A. So we can use count A to count the number of jumpers, Control-Shift down arrow, and F4 to lock the cell references. We can close off count A, close off rand between, hit enter, and then when we drag this formula down, you can see that it's generating numbers between 1 and 23. Now I'm going to take these decimal places down because check out an issue that we have when we use this method. You'll notice that we don't have unique values. For example, Max Carter has 20 assigned next to him, and then also John Wilson has 20 as well. So we have repeats in here. And one of the things that we specified is that 2 or more people should not share the same position. So a much better way to do this would be to use rand array. So let's delete out this formula, Control-Shift down arrow, let's press delete, and we're going to use rand array instead. Now the reason why I'm using rand array is that with rand array we can specify integers or decimals. Now, the number of rows, again, I could type in 23, or I can get Excel to do the heavy lifting by using count A. Let's select the list, F4 to lock, close the bracket. How many columns do we want to fill? Well, we want to fill 1 column. We want the minimum number to be 1, and the maximum number, again, we could type in 23, or we could use count A. So I'm going to select this list again, F4 to lock, close the bracket, comma. Now we get to specify if we're returning decimals or integers. So if we return decimals, let's close the bracket, hit enter. If we increase the decimals, just here, you can see that this in effect makes these unique. So even when we have 2 jumpers with the same number, for example, Patricia Thomas is position 14, and also William Thomas is position 14, but because we're showing the decimals, Patricia effectively comes before William. So we can use this method to determine the order. So now what we need to do is sort this list based on this order. Now there are a couple of different methods you could use. If you wanted to use the sort dynamic array function, you could do that. If you just wanted to use the sort on the data ribbon, you would need to remove the underlying formulas because we can't sort in that way on a dynamic array. So what we would do here is Control-Shift down arrow, Control-C to copy, and then if you're using Microsoft 365, you can use the Control-Shift-V shortcut just to paste the values, or alternatively, you can go to Home, click the lower half of the paste button and choose Paste Values from here. So now we can perform our sort. Let's right click, go to sort, and I'm going to say smallest to largest. And there we go, we have our sort order, and Linda is the lucky person who's going to be jumping out of a plane first. Now the second part of this exercise was to assign the jumpers to a flight. And there are 6 flights going today, and each plane can hold 4 jumpers. And I asked you to organize them into the correct jump order for each of the flights. Now, what I didn't want you to do was to simply select the first 4 jumpers, Control-C, and paste them in over here, because there is an Excel formula that we can use called wrap cols. So if we type in equals and go for wrap cols, the first argument here is the vector. So that's going to be this cell range just here, comma, wrap count. Now the wrap count is going to be 4 because we want 4 jumpers on each flight. Now if we close the bracket just here and hit enter, You can see that it organises them very nicely across the flights. But notice with flight 6, we don't have enough jumpers to completely fill every seat on that flight, hence why we have an NA error. And the last part of this exercise said that if there is a free spot on any flight, ensure it says free spot in the cell. So we have an NA error in here. One way you could tackle this is to wrap your wrap Coles formula in an if NA, but we don't actually need to do that because if we go back to our formula, the last argument of wrap Coles is pad width. And this basically allows us to specify what we want to fill any blank cells with. So I'm going to say free spot. Let's hit enter. And there we go. That looks good. So that is the result that I was looking for. There are many different ways that you could have tackled this challenge, so I would be really interested to see how you handled this. That's it for now. I will see you next time.
So there it is. Did you get the same results? Did you use the same approach? Or did you try something different? We'd like to know. Share your take on the challenge in the comments below or join us for more discussion in our Slack channel. Link in the description. Thanks for participating, and make sure to subscribe to this channel to get an alert when the next challenge is released. We'll see you then.